Hello everybody, and welcome to the weekend update. A little bit later than I usually do, but it was a busy weekend for me, so it was kind of difficult to get here to do this, but I'm glad I was able to swing on by and make it happen. So, how's everybody's weekends going? How's everybody's week going? I know mine was a little less filled than I expected it to be. I will, try to explain through everything that happened for the shows that did happen. It was a lot of fun. So I guess without further ado, you know the schedule as it stands right now. Let's work our way through it and see what happened this week. Oh, Breland. Oh, thonk hate. Gotta love the thonk hate. I genuinely enjoy it. It makes me very happy. Okay, so first show. Edge of Morality. As you all know, Edge of Morality did not happen this week. I have, I think it's important that the entire cast be there for the next session. So we actually didn't play this week as Maggie was in Germany. Has nothing to do with Maggie. She told us 2 months in advance. So we knew. It was kind of our fault for making the last minute decision. Like, with the way things fell, the way things are standing, we really shouldn't do this one without the entire cast. So we decided to can it this week. It hurt. It hurt because I was losing one of my shows, but that's okay. It's okay. We made the decision. We went with it. So Edge of Morality did not play this week. It is definitely happening next week. It's in 2 days. It's actually ending in about 48 hours. The session is ending in about 48 hours. So I'm excited for it. Hopefully everybody else is too. We'll see what happens as we go. Okay. Now the next show that we play is actually the Mass Effect game. Now, the Mass Effect game is a really, really exciting one. I have to say, currently right now, my favorite day of the week is Wednesday. I am so loving the Wednesday right now. I get to play in 2 games. I get to run one, play in the other one. And Mass Effect has been so amazing so far. The cast that we have in it, that's Rookie Wookiees, Mighty Rick, or Digital Derp, and Ollie. I mean, the way that the way you could feel their characters through them, the way that the party just like meshes together perfectly. The dice have rolled like in cinematic ways. I don't think I could have asked for a better session this past week. So it started up with where the other one left off, running into a hangar where there was combat, where things were happening. A bunch of Batarians were in the middle of stealing a Volus ship, and Lena had just gotten through the door, and Ollie and so it was, sorry, don't tell me. It was Carmine and Adam, whatever his last name is. Rockwell. We're going to say Rockwell. So Rockwell and Carmine, were getting through the door to get to the other side. They had a little bit of a hiccup, blasted it, ripped it open, whatever. They get to the other side to about 90 degrees around the ship from where she was and have to sneak their way around to the ass end of the ship. They fight the Batarians. They have to go running over. They're trying to save the humans. Sadly, the Batarians were successfully able to kill all of the humans. Lena was able to get a whole bunch of kills, which was absolutely amazing. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. She even got into a little bit of a kerfuffle with one of the Batarians running up and attacking her in melee. And it's funny because I've explained the way melee works about 3 or 4 times to the team, especially to Digital Derp, because he has a melee weapon because he liked the idea of doing it. But until you see it get played out in the game format, you don't truly understand what happens. And oh man, once they saw exactly how deadly melee was, they were all like, "Oh shit, maybe we should try to avoid this." Because like, yes, it ignores your shields and your armor, and it even hits you when it misses you. Like, it's crazy how dangerous melee is. Not always, but depending on the blah 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 blah. So that was kind of what she did, and she came out super badass. James Carmine, comes running around the side of the ship. He pops off a couple of people, gets a little bit of a firefight with one guy, both of them ducking and weaving behind the ship. Eventually kills that person too. And then from across the fucking hangar, lines up a shot and takes out a Batarian that's literally swinging down with like a machete, with like a super advanced machete, swinging down at Lena, takes him out from across the fucking hangar. An amazing moment from him. It was a brilliant scene that he was able to get through, so he got to come off as extremely heroic. And then Rockwell, Ollie's character, also ran onto the ship to try to like stop it, because it seemed like people were going into it to try to like stop people from being inside there, kill them, whatever he does. He shot a guy on the ground. Another guy ran in behind him and started like tackling him from behind. He's rolling around on the ground with this guy, actually bop, 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 shoots the guy and is able to kill him, thank God, which is amazing. Realizes the ship gets turned on and he's like, oh fuck, I gotta get off the ship. And so he goes to try to do so, almost gets locked in the ship as it's taken off, and the ship gets out of there, tries to like ram into them to kill them. There were a lot of sex jokes afterwards about that on our Skype, I'll tell you right now, but tries to ram into them with that damn ship. Eventually that ship gets away. They go running back to their own little shuttle, transporting back to the Stalingrad, their ship, where they're able to track down, chase down, and come across the Volus ship. Ollie explained this perfectly, and so we did it on stream because he originally mentioned it off stream. It was done so well. He mentions how it's a Volus ship, so clearly superior to a human ship because of how much further the technological development was at the time. But theirs is a transport ship versus a military ship, so it kind of balanced the playing field out pretty well. Ollie did amazing, again, very cinematic, amazing rolls to try to make things play out the way that they did. I mean, he rolled so well in all those times. I mean, he was rolling 11s and 12s and stars without number. That is insanely high. That's the system we used for that I retrofitted for Mass Effect to work. That's insanely high rolls. So he did it perfectly with the way he rolled the die, the actions he chose to take, everything just kind of like fell in place. You couldn't have asked for better. The funny moment was, I just realized I still haven't fixed my chair. Despite all of the reminders people have given me. So the funny moments that took place in the elevator, I mean, everything that happens, the way that they got onto the Volus ship, found the actual remaining Volus that were chained up to the ground, found out that Volus are always prepared. They knew what they were dealing with. They knew that it was the Batarians. They were prepared. They had that kill switch ready. Batarian's dead. That's just how they work, and that's where we ended the stream right there. It was an amazing ending. I'm really looking forward to this next session. I don't think that they even know how I'm planning to do the next session. I don't think they have a clue. So I'm excited to see how much this works. So one of the things I wanted to say was, as a DM, you have hopes. So a little like insider information that none of them know about. You always have hopes of things that you want to have happen. So when I originally designed that combat, I designed it with the intention of having the Batarians kind of retreat back into the ship and having the crew having to chase them into the ship. That got spun on its head almost immediately with the way that, what's her name? Rookie had decided to, with Lena, take out that sniper shot with the guy in the middle. It just split up the group. It confused things a considerable amount. But the original plan was to have them actually retreat, the humans winning, into their ship and have the crew go and try to sneak onto the ship with them. I actually had this really cool scene planned out in my mind where I wanted them to be like stowaways aboard the ship secretly, and more or less Alina was going to have to make a couple of like decryption electronics checks to try to like sneakily get them aboard the ship and have the ship sensors not detect the fact that they were there. But then all of a sudden they realize, oh fuck, this ship is going to head towards a mass relay and is not going to be able to get through the mass relay. Like Ollie's going to be the one that realizes this because they're not going to factor in our mass. Rookie had us hidden so that they didn't know so they didn't know that we were on here. So fuck, if we're going to try to track down where they're going and everything, so if this is part of a greater plot, we could like go and take care of that. If they would have to trick the mass relay into knowing. So this was done amazingly. This idea I had originally, but then I was like, okay, I get this cool idea. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, blah, 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 blah. But then session one, Ollie said something session one that because I thought about it before session one, and I was like, I have to fucking do this. I have to do this. I had this idea and it falls into place perfectly because of what Ollie said. He said, the guy sends me the numbers of what the mass of our ship is and the crew and all that stuff to send over to the relay for us to jump through it. However, I don't trust his numbers. I have my own algorithm, so I'm going to use that instead. And he rolled a check, and his check was so successful that he actually did use his algorithm instead of the one that was supposed to be used by the person whose job is to do these things. And so I thought it was going to be so great that it was mentioned beforehand. He was going to be able to use his algorithm to make this scene happen. Like, oh, she kept us hitting on the ship, and then he got us through the relay. I was like super excited for it. It didn't play out that way because the way that she attacked in the middle, Ollie just ran straight onto the ship. So it threw that off, but that was kind of a scene I had in my head. It totally could. It was like a deleted director's cut kind of scene. You know what I mean? So maybe you guys would have appreciated that. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe the dice could have gone very poorly. I guess only time would tell, right? But that kind of ended that game. That brings us to the next one. I love Javiskjir. Javiskjir? Yeah, Javiskjir. Yeah, Javik. I love this game. I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's so much fun. The way that Ollie runs it, the way that the way that he makes the world feel. The game is Javiskjir. Ollie just said I pronounced it right. So the way that the world feels, it feels like instead of walking through the land, you're almost swimming through muck. The kind of like atmospheric pressure you feel all around you with the dark tones of it. Even when we were in the Elven lands at the very beginning of the first session, there was like this like feeling around it, maybe because of my character and like that's what it's supposed to be. It's still, I don't know, it makes you feel like heroes are... they have to try extra hard to be successful. And even when they are, their successes are going to come at a cost. And is that cost worth it? You know what I mean? So that's the kind of feeling I get from the world. And that's great because my character, I intentionally designed to really play up that feeling. And maybe that's why I feel it so much. Maybe others don't feel it as much as I do. But I feel it like in my chest because of the kind of character that I'm playing. And I mean every moment of the stream, it's great. And then you have... the way, and it was so upsetting missing Neil this week, but you have whatever the heck his name is, Neil's character, having him there, he also gives that kind of darker feel in his light quippy way. He gives a darker feel because like he's seen shit, he's been through shit. He has that like roguish aspect that also kind of plays up into the, I'm a hero, but with a checkered past, like I'm a bit sordid. Then you have Caitlin. Caitlin, she's a paladin. And you think she comes off as heroic because of the fact that she's a paladin. I think there's two things that come off of her that also give her kind of that darker feeling. One, she's a human that really looks up to the elves, and it's kind of sad. The fact that she's not happy with who she is and what she's capable of because she really looks up to the elven culture. She really wants to be like them. So there's almost like something's missing in her that gives her a bit of a glint of sadness. You know what I mean? Almost like if you're like looking into a diamond and you see those black spots, those inclusions or whatever they're called. You can feel that with Caitlin's otherwise good soul, right? But then there's also, I don't know, Caitlin comes off as innocent, comes off as goodly and all that. I swear, and the way that she looks up to the elves, I swear there's something there. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it's kind of kept for me. We always have our PC secrets. But I swear there's something hidden there. Something that we're going to uncover that shows that she also has a bit of a checkered past that pushed her into this life. I'm really excited to find it because it's going to be like a big realization moment for why she is the way she is. Why does she speak Dwarven? Isn't that fucking weird that this human that really embraces elven culture, because clearly she's not good enough, is able to speak Dwarven, but somehow is pushed into this life of servitude to the elven pantheon? I don't know. There's something there, and I'm really excited to find it. And then we bring our attention over to Dean's character. I didn't really want to analyze the characters the first session, after the first session or whatever, because you really want to get to know them. I love Dean's character. His background, his problems, his flaw is fucking daddy issues. Yeah, it might be big or whatever, but it's something as simple as daddy issues. And he's so lighthearted and happy, and he brings like a joy to the party. He's actually the only one in the party that comes off as like a genuine, true blue, pure-hearted hero. He's the only one that comes off that way. And I think the best part about why, like my favorite part about the fact that he's the only one that comes off that way out of the party of 4 is that for some reason, just the way he interacts with things, the way that he talks to the NPCs and the PCs and whatnot, I almost don't see him as a PC. I almost see his character, not just because of his class, I almost see his character as being like a chronicler. Like if this was to be like a book series or something like that, I see his character traveling with us, not because he's one of the heroes in the story as well. He comes off that way right now because he's young and naive and finding his place. But I almost feel as though if this was a book series, at the end of the series, you come to find out that the series was actually written by him, and the evolution that his character goes throughout the time helps to make him the chronicler that he becomes to tell this grand tale. And he's not even he's telling the tale from not even the first person perspective, and he eventually and he never, even at the beginning or any point in time, is he the main character. He's always a bit of a side character that complements and works along and well with the main characters. That the 3 are actually the main characters of the story, and he's just always there. As again, kind of like the feeling that I get off of him. And I don't mean this as an insult to Dean, because Dean does a great job of playing this character. He's so much fun to be around. It's just kind of like how I'm reading it. If this was to be a book, I love it. Everything that we went through this past session, the shipping that happened was pretty intense between Caitlin and Gil. It was a lot of fun, but anyways, we'll see the way that one plays out. And we had a lot of like story, big in-depth story things come out. The fact that I told Gilwyn, the fact that I'm rotted close, you know, that scene that I did where I had the slack jaw. I won't lie. I was drooling a considerable amount during playing that scene. It was not easy, but I wanted to make sure I played up the fact that my character had gone so long without repairing his injured body. You know, like it was a lot of fun, but I was actually legit drooling and shit like that, so I don't know. But a lot of stuff came out. I revealed who I was to him. We found out, without a doubt, not my character, but Caitlin, that he has some serious daddy issues. We were able to find out a bit more about where that the guns and the gunpowder come from. Peel away a couple bits of layers of the plot. I don't want to say too much yet because I don't want to analyze it too much yet, because I think the next session we're gonna like peel back enough layers that I can finally delve into what my guesses of the lore are with that one. So I'm gonna wait just one more session before I jump into it. If you want me to talk about my Game of Thrones theories, sure, I could do that. But I'm gonna hold back on Javiskjir at the moment. So that's kind of where that one stands. After that one brings us over to the next game that I was supposed to play this week. And that's Vampire the Requiem. So Vampire is a great game. Mathis runs it. Sadly, this one got canned. This one got canned for entirely different reasons. Actually, it was supposed to be 3 of us playing, Maggie being in Germany, not playing, but we were doing backstory stuff. Her character was dead and then brought back. That's how she was turned into a vampire. So we were just going to completely skip that and just do the other 3 characters' backstories, Varys's, Callie's, and Jimmy's. Backstory, so hard remembering all these names, all these nouns. But we were supposed to do a whole bunch of that stuff. Sadly, there was a no-call, no-show. Nika wasn't there. It turns out that she just was very, very under the weather, and she had to set an alarm. She knew she was under the weather. She didn't really talk to us in advance because, you know, we don't sit there and be like, give us everything always. You know, that's not who we are. So she overslept her alarm. She's perfectly fine. Nika's good to go. I'm sure you've seen her on Twitter being active and everything. So she's good for when we do play again. Unfortunately, this game I'm not even going to do an update about for the next couple of weeks because we knew we weren't going to play 3 weeks, which is why I was like, Mike, let's do a backstory thing. It's going to be great. Let's do how it is that we get turned. And everybody was like, yes, this is amazing. And we were kind of fit in, what's her name? Emmy's sometime in the future, which is Maggie's character, Emmy sometime in the future. But so unfortunately, we didn't get to do it. God, I have a Paisley shirt I was going to wear. You know what I mean? Like, God, I was so excited to play Varys pre-Undead. We'll see his personality eventually. Ha. But, you know, do what you're going to do, right? Anyways, so that brings us back to the next one that I would usually be playing. This one is still on hiatus. Not on hiatus by my choice by any stretch of the imagination. We were supposed to build characters 2 days ago on Friday for the upcoming game. Then there was a big hiccup. So we didn't make characters. We're still on pause for when it is that we're going to be doing it. I don't think we have a date set for when it is we're doing it. The hiccup got extended. That sucks. I love the Roll For It crew. I genuinely miss hanging out with EE and Bentham because those are two of the people I know I'll be hanging out with. I genuinely miss hanging out with them. You build a relationship with people when you spend this many hours hanging out with them with other personalities. I miss them. I'm looking forward to when it is that we get to play another game together. We Skype back and forth time to time, but you know, we're all very busy. So I'm excited for when we do play the next game. That's really all I can say about it. There's really nothing else at the moment. So move on to the next one, which is EBERRON. EBERRON is coming back next week. It's happening. EBERRON is happening next week. The game is finally coming in. I hope you're as excited about it as I am. We had such an amazing finish to last season. This season's going to kick up. It's going to be great. We're going to have so much fun with it. I know Ollie's excited about it. Everybody's just like, I need to play that character now. Actually, I think it was Erin that was upset because she thought we were playing this past week. She's like, wait, we're not. I want to play it. I miss playing characters so much. There was evolution of characters. There was new artwork that was drawn. Thank you, Ollie. You did an amazing job with that one. I mean, I'm excited to see it come back. So again, coming back this week. I hope you're all excited for it. Tune in live. That brings us to our next game. On to this one. I do want to say that thank you to Tiv. Tiv, you coming in and joining this game as the first member of the community to get an opportunity to come and play with us. I genuinely appreciate it. You were a very gracious guest. You were a lot of fun to hang out with. We had fuck Comcast. If only you could see the way I was offline on the phone. We had technical difficulties. We eventually got live. Thank you, Erin. You needed to get out of here. You had to go to work early the next day. You stayed a little bit later than you originally wanted to. It was still a lot of fun. I was excited because even though I didn't get to do 100% of everything that I wanted to, there was still like one tidbit more I wanted to do with the within the mausoleum with the gate, and technically I still wanted to do something with the church that was over there that they didn't look into, but it went pretty well for how I wanted things to end up. They got to feel the power of the Totentanz gate. They got to see something. They unlocked a little bit of a secret in-game and out of game, which we talked about off stream. There's a theme going with this game, and there's a story that's going to happen. It'll develop over time. I hope everybody's excited for it. But what happened in the story? The party was given an option for 3 different types of quests. They told me offline what option they wanted. They chose it. We went into the game with them choosing the blue option. It's the hardest one that was chosen before them. They had to go and find out why the most forefront camp went quiet, went dark. They go there. They find out it's because they're all dead. They're actually undead as mindless skeletons, but like living an echo of their former lives, which is weird. But every day around bedtime, a little after 10:30, music, kind of like you feel like a wave of magic, and they all kick up and they start dancing and playing music and dancing their way over to this gate, which was seemed to be mishmashed and put back together. Built up and has this magic happening. They went there, they found the gates through whatever means, they eventually found their way over there. Some of the party was affected by it, some of it wasn't. They eventually got to the gate, they looked at it, they studied it, tried to find out what they could. They actually found out a fuck ton of information because Tiv rolled an amazing natural 20. Once again, thank you, Tiv, so much for coming by and hanging out. Unfortunately, he failed his final saving throw by 1. That's just, it was there. It was a final saving throw. He could have passed it had he cast guidance on himself. Unfortunately, I think he cast guidance 5 times that session on other people, but never once on himself. So he didn't have the guidance to assist him there. He failed the saving throw. He walked through the gate and died. I do feel bad that I had to kill Tiv's character, but he was funny enough to actually go put on a red shirt, which was, pretty hilarious. So his character did die. If and when Tiv comes back and joins the game with us, he will be allowed to play a level 2 character. But it was a lot of fun playing with him. They found out some information. I haven't decided with the next session if I'm going to pick it back up exactly where we left that one off, doing like a continuation of sorts, and then kind of like finishing up with a shorter one afterwards, allowing them to finish up with what they were doing with the gate there and to look over inside the church and then make their way back. Or if I want to pick it up in the future, I genuinely haven't decided yet because that's like a little different from how I originally planned. But it was good fun. Peck was an amazing character. Watching Ollie play that was... Ollie gets really... He's like I am. He gets into the mind of his characters and really wants to bring them out. So I always appreciate that. So good job to Ollie with that one. Seeing Will bring his character back slightly more evolved, a little less socially awkward, a little bit more backbone to him, was nice to see. That character's going to be level 3 next time we see him, whether it's the next session or in the future. He'll be even less socially awkward, which is nice. Erin bringing back Lumion, her having learned a bit from her past, but being like more stubborn. Being able to use that little tidbit there, watching Ollie's character die, was a fun little, this was an Easter egg, I don't know, throwback, that happens for her character making her saves. So I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it very much. I hope you did as well. Once again, that'll be filling in the gaps for when we can't play the EBERRON game. If there's an open spot, because I know it in advance, I'll throw it out to the community to see who I can pull in to play one of the sessions with us. I do have a list of people that I would like to ask, that have been around for a long while, have hung out with us, active members of the community for a long while that have genuine interest in this. So I'm really excited to bring those people in. Little details that have to be fulfilled for you to be able to come and play. You have to be able to have a webcam. You have to be able to be live for the entire session. You have to be able to have a decent mic. Even this mic right here could work. You know what I mean? Little details like that. Obviously a certain level of respect when you're on the stream, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I say fucking cunt all the time, so obviously cuss words I don't care about, but a certain level of respect when you're on the stream. There's people that I really want to bring in to play with us, and I'm excited for when I finally get to meet them, because it's more than just playing with these people, which is super exciting. I also get to meet them face-to-face on the Skype chat before and after. I think Tiv hung out with us for a decent while after it was over, because I just had some time to kill, and it was good to, get to know him a bit. Well, anyways, that was it for Adventure Camp. I'm excited to see how that story evolves over a long period of time. So, hopefully you're as excited about it as I am. But that does bring us back to the beginning of it all, which is what the schedule is, what the plan is. I do once again want to remind you guys that there will eventually be a Monday night stream and not just like me playing a video game consistently. I do have something in the works. I have a group of people that I've been speaking to. They reached out to me with something that I can't talk about. And I will eventually be able to, but for now I have to be all hush-hush because of an NDA. But I'm excited to talk about what that game will be in the future, when it happens. I'm excited about the crew that I'm going to be playing with. I've met all of them to a degree. It's pretty cool. So in the future, this will expand a little bit more to be a Monday, above this even, a Monday stream as well. So... we'll see when we get there, but hey everybody, thank you all so much for coming by and hanging out, for just being a part of the community. I always suggest, if you aren't already, make sure you scroll down below, click that Discord button, join us when we're offline for chatting. We have a lot of good fun that happens in there. We do actually have a Discord subpage for spoilers. We don't use it very often, but from time to time, people like to go in there and throw a little salt, or will want to chat about things. It's the spot where you can just kind of like unload after a session and ask me questions, and sometimes I'll answer them, sometimes I won't. And feel free to use that. But yeah, come on by to the Discord and hang out. Other than that, thank you all very much. I will see you Tuesday evening for Edge of Morality, where we can see how that thing plays out. So, till then, toodles.